everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Cupid, and if you're new here, welcome. As you can see, I have a whole new setup. I also have a mic, so hopefully the audio can be clearer. And yeah, let's just get right into this reading. Oh wait, before we go any further, I do want to thank you everybody who participated in my last giveaway. I'm thinking of doing more giveaways like that, just because I know that sometimes we might want to get a reading, but either we don't feel like we can prioritize the funds for the reading, or sometimes you're just not sure who to go to. You're not sure if maybe people's reading styles. So I figured it's a great way for you guys. If you've never gotten a personal reading from me, you can kind of get a feel for like my personal reading style and how I do them, which is a question-based format. So you let me know your exact questions that you have, and then I give you a written or typed reading back via email. And I love doing them. The people who have been consistent clients of mine, they like my readings. So yeah, if you're interested, then be on the lookout for the next giveaway, because that will be a perfect opportunity to get a free reading and get a sense of what a personal reading by me is like. Okay, so yeah, if you participated in the last giveaway, the winner was announced on the 10th, on 10/10. Okay, and typically I just let the winner know underneath their comment to send me their email and their questions. So anyway, let's get into you guys' groups. The reading is all about who is still not over you, who is still not over your situation, who is still, who's still in their feelings about some stuff. Okay, so as always, you're welcome to pause the video and meditate on which group you belong to. And all timestamps for each group is in the description box below. Catch you at your reading. Group 1. The first card you received was the friendship card here, okay? And in this card, you have these two girls, and it looks like they're talking to this rabbit. For some reason, this card also makes me think of like counsel, because they are sitting with this rabbit. But this person is somebody that you were close to before, right? Like you could have been just like literal friends, or this could even be somebody who was just close to you, a cousin, a sibling, but either way, this was somebody you had a friendship with. And I feel like this person, I heard the time together, right? So this person really feels like they can't get over, it's like they wanted more time with you, right? Not only was the time spent together, really good to this person, they feel like you had a lot of good memories. But at the same time, right underneath here, we have midnight. And when I think of midnight, sometimes I think of escape. I also think of like it being late, right? This person feels like they ran out of time, or it's too late to do something. And so they think about like wasted time or lost time, right? And it's like an unexpected event, right? So maybe your friendship ended unexpectedly to them. But yeah, it's almost like they lost track of time. And they think about that, the losing track of time when it came to your friendship. Here with the 9 of Cups right here, I feel like this person feels like this happened in a lot of ways because they were selfish, right? Because they were self-focused, and they were really only worried about their own cups and how it served them. They weren't necessarily prioritizing or considering, how this really affected you, or how some of their actions were affecting you. Here we have the Two of Swords, and I feel like this person, this is a tough energy, or I feel like this is the main energy of this situation that this person's kind of holding on to. This error, right? They made an error. They thought they were making the right decision, but the right decision turned out to be the wrong decision. It almost like feels like this person, they look back and they feel like they wouldn't have known what to do, or they didn't know what to do, right? Their options were limited, or the options that they had were not easy for this person, right? Either option was hard for them. Either option was difficult for them to face. And so they're kind of thinking back on how, they feel like they had a limited perspective. They're thinking back to how they had a limited perspective of your connection, or of what was going on, because right beneath that we have the Four of Wands. Okay, and so this person thought everything was fine. This person thought everything was good, right? Even if they were making decisions to do things that maybe weren't necessarily the best in your friendship, they thought things were good. But I don't know if you can see with this this Four of Wands, you see how Hello Kitty's face is like peeking through the wands. They're like windows. And so it's back to that limited perspective. This person really didn't see your side, right? Like, yes, you guys, yes, you guys are limited, or yes, you guys are united in your friendship and joy and love for one another. But at the end of the day, not only are you both mirroring each other, but you both are individuals here. You both have a side, right? You both have a story in this. And so this person is like realizing that part of why their perspective was limited was because they weren't considering your side. They weren't considering how you were seeing things, or how you were affected, right? It goes back to that selfishness with that Nine of Cups, where it's like they were only really prioritizing how it hurt them. You know what I'm saying? So this person does want to say they're sorry. That came out very explicitly, So this, honestly, as the first group, it does make me wonder, like, what are the other groups going to be like? Because this is very straightforward. This person is sorry. This person does feel bad. And like I said, they do think about how they let time pass by. They weren't taking certain things seriously with you, or they didn't think certain things were that big of a deal. With this Eight of Cups, they want to be able to go back and apologize to you. They do want to be able to make amends, and this is almost like them holding out hope. It's in a sense that they will be able to one day, that hopefully one day you guys will be able to speak, Interesting. Okay, so right underneath here we have the Nine of Swords, but see, the Nine of Swords was underneath the Two of Swords as well. And so this is actually a big, I feel like this person, underneath it all, what is driving them to hold on to this is not just because they valued your friendship. It's not just because the time you spent together was good. It's also because this is one of their biggest fears. And I can't see how we do have the moon here, right? I don't see, I would probably have to go deeper to figure out the root of this. But what I'm getting here with two Nine of Swords, it's like this person is having a hard time being the bad guy here, or having hurt somebody close to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this person, they never wanted to be the person in the wrong in this way. They never wanted to be somebody who hurt a person that they cared about. And they probably never saw themselves as being the type of person that could hurt somebody that they cared about. But there's something about their perspective of the situation that you had, whatever it was that ended your friendship. They feel like they had such a limited perspective, and that's why they weren't able to really consider you. And I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, they it's like they kind of learned more about themselves. They're seeing themselves in a more multifaceted way, because underneath this Nine of Cups we have the High Priestess. So this person, can you see it? So this person, I'm hearing shadow side, right? They are opening up to their shadow. That, fear protects no one, right? Not unless you use it the right way. But if you are constantly acting from a place of fear, running from things, being avoidant, you're not really helpful. You're not really, if you're lying about things, if you're doing things behind the scenes to quote unquote protect people, or because you don't want to hurt people, at a certain point you have to face that shadow and realize, like, no, you weren't doing this for anybody else but you, because you were avoiding some type of consequence. You know what I mean? When you're unable to not only face what you've done, but like I said, you're doing things behind the scenes, or you're not speaking up about things, right? There's an element here of, like I said, you losing track of time in your friendship. But it's like, how did you lose track of time? Interesting. Limited perspective. Maybe it could be a difference of just how you were raised, or how you grew up. But maybe expectations between you weren't aligned. Maybe this friend expected these things, but you weren't aware of what. So there's something here about the communication. But regardless, like I said, all of us at some point have to face, the truth of ourselves, the dark and the light, right? Like, we can have the best intentions in the world and still do something that hurts someone, or we can still do something that, makes someone feel a kind of way. And sometimes it's not so easy to just apologize, right? It goes back to that understanding. You can apologize and really not understand, and then you guys will have the same issues over and over again. And so I think that's what this person is like. Like I said, they never wanted to be this kind of person, or be somebody that would hurt somebody that they cared about. I feel like this person cared about you a lot and really valued your friendship. But it's like they're really stuck on that. They really didn't think that something was going to turn out the way it did. They really didn't think something was going to hurt the way it did, or be as serious or as big of a deal or bad, right? There's something here where they didn't really, until it was already said and done. Once it was done, it was like, damn, I did do that. And I didn't think I didn't realize that these were the consequences, or these were the effects of what I was doing, is what I'm really getting here. So anyway, that's all I have for you today, Group 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope it resonated. If it did, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye! Group 2. I'm seeing that the person who is still not over you, this is somebody who is struggling with acknowledging their own inaction, okay? The first card we have here is apathy, okay? So this person this is somebody who gives up easily, okay? I'm seeing this as somebody who, when things get hard, their solution is to distance themselves emotionally, but for some people, probably even physically. This is somebody who disassociates and who will flee the scene, basically. In this image, you have somebody on one half of a burning boat while the other half is on fire, and they're just twirling their fingers in the water. Um, so, like I said, this person, they may flee the scene physically, but more than anything, it's about that emotional distance. This person giving up. But instead of, being honest about feeling hopeless or insecure or scared, this person will mask with indifference, right? So this is somebody who, they don't really take responsibility often, right? They don't often hold themselves accountable for the part they play in a lot of things. And I feel like this person, they're being faced with this now. They're being faced with this aspect of themselves now, but they're still, like I said, struggling with acknowledging that this apathy, this inaction is a big part of a lot of their hardships in life, okay? We have the hangman here, but the hangman is reversed. So, like I said, this person, they're being faced with the fact that they are the ones who, you know, they're the ones not seeing things clearly. They're the ones who are, immature, or they're the ones who are not acting, right? This person, they come up with excuses about why they can't, right? The hangman, they're constantly caught up in these other things that they're able to use to justify this inaction, right? But really, this person, they just play victim, is what I'm getting. I'm just getting that this person, they are constantly in this state of victimhood. I can't. Right? We have this Eight of Cups here, and notice how it's like this person is holding these cups like what? It's like this person is constantly implying that they have nothing. It's like, look what I have. Well, I can't, I can't. You know what I mean? And it's like they're realizing that at the end of the day, they didn't try hard enough, right? They weren't really trying hard enough to be there for you, right? When they needed to be, right? They weren't trying hard enough to be present in the relationship with that Eight of Cups. We have this Page of Pentacles here. And when I saw this Page of Pentacles, I immediately thought, all I have, right? This person, it's like they feel like they've given all they have, but this page is like, it's not very little, but it's like they want to imply that about themselves but not own that, right? That's where this victimization comes in. They don't want to own that. They're basically saying that they don't have nothing, they're not ready yet, but at the same time, this is their excuse. Their excuse is that I don't have anything, I'm not ready yet. You know what I mean? And they're realizing now, it's like they were never really giving and taking equally. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're looking back that they were never really giving and taking equally, right? They're looking back with the Six of Cups on what you were giving to them, and it's like, yeah, they're realizing that they were really kind of just taking advantage of that, and that's why they're kind of forced into this singledom. This person, they may be feeling really lonely because we have the hangman here, and then we got the hermit. So this person, they feel kind of like put out. I heard put out, shut out. Maybe for some of you, this person could be homeless relatively, but I'm getting more so somebody who, they have victimized themselves so much that they have like literally put themselves in they have manifested victimhood for themselves. So they're in a worse position now than they were before. And they're seeing that it is because they were never really giving equally. Therefore, they were never investing equally, right? So they were never going to get an equal return on this investment, right? They're seeing now that all of this disassociating and distancing and emotionally checking out, it doesn't actually water a garden. It actually lets things burn to the ground, right? You're not nurturing anything if you're always if you're always like shutting things out when things get rough, right? When things get hard or difficult. With the Two of Wands right underneath this, the Hangman is right. Like I said, it's like they're realizing that what they were saying and what they were doing were two different things, right? They were saying that they want to go here, they want to do that, they want to try this, they want to be this, they want to be great, they want to try hard, they want to, but they were refusing to leave the comfort zone. They were refusing to, you know what I'm saying, like try new things for real. They were, and like I said, there was always some excuse for why they couldn't. Why couldn't they, you know, another Two of Pentacles. Ooh, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, with this Two of Wands, they were just feeling like it was just always a reason why they couldn't start, right? Why they couldn't press go, right? They were telling you that they want to do this, that, and the third, but still doing the same thing. And with this Two of Pentacles and this Eight of Swords, maybe they felt like their money was too caught up for them to do these things, right? Maybe it was a money issue, or maybe it wasn't money specifically, but they just didn't feel like they had enough. Maybe they didn't have enough education. Maybe they didn't have enough resources, housing, food, right? Maybe they were putting their money or their resources towards something else, and that made them feel like they couldn't. But there's something here, there's an insecurity around what they're able to prioritize with this Two of Pentacles. Interesting. And that's what pretty much put them in this position, this Eight of Swords position, where they felt like they were trapped or stuck, right? They were stuck in something that they couldn't get out of. You know what I mean? And maybe they were bound to some type of agreement that was difficult or is difficult. It's not easy to release themselves from. But either way, they're looking back and realizing that they didn't really try hard enough. They were constantly saying they would or wanted to, but their actions really didn't show that. And I think they're kind of being forced to acknowledge this now, but it's hard. It's hard for them. They're struggling with it. Ooh. I was not supposed to shuffle that, but I think Spirit wants me to. We're going to get, Ten of Cups. Ooh. Oh, yeah. This person felt like you were family. This person felt like you were family. With the Ten of Cups here and then wounds, they feel like maybe for some of you, they walked out on their family, or they did something to lose their family, or it's more about how they saw you. They saw you as family, but I'm also getting trauma. Maybe there was some triggering of family wounds, or there's some trauma that goes back to their relationship with their family, their own childhood. Because I remember here with the Six of Cups, right? This feeling of insecurity, this feeling of not having enough with the Page of Pentacles, it stems from their childhood. This is something that they have to reflect on. They're being forced to really dig deep into why they do the things why they do the things they do. You guys know that title of that book, Why Does He Do That, or something like that. And so that's like the title I'm getting. It's like, or that's like a message I'm getting, like this person, they have to go deep. It's like they're being forced to go deep within and be like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do you hesitate? Right? Why are you stalling? Why is it hard for you to initiate your goals or to stay consistent? Why is it hard for you to stick around when things get rough? Why is it easy for you, or why do you default to this emotional distance where you're willing to let everything burn to the ground, all so that you don't do something wrong? Because that's what that really is. When you're avoidant in that way, it's because you are trying to avoid fault, right? You are trying to avoid any type of, you know, accusation that it was you that did it. So instead you do nothing and you just ignore, you know, and that's all it is. It's like, why are you so afraid of, you know, beginning the journey? Why are you so afraid of leaving the comfort zone? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like this person, I almost said this kid, this person is, it's almost like they infantilize themselves, or they don't realize that they kind of reduce themselves almost to a child by staying stuck in the mindset of their childhood trauma, basically. So, oh my God, I hope that resonated. That's all I have for you today, group 2. If it did resonate, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, group 2. Group 3. This person who has not gotten over you, this is somebody who likes control, okay? This is somebody whose main objective is to be the person in control. The first card we have here is management, right? So with management, I feel like this person, they try to have their hands on every aspect of their relationships. I don't know if you can see how this person is holding all of these threads, right? Or these strings, right? This person wants to have a hand on every aspect of the relationship. They want to be the one pulling all the strings. They want to be the one who pretty much controls the entire dynamic and the direction that things are going to go. A lot of times this card does allude to a stress or an anxiety, right? So this is somebody, like, this is a need that they have. They do this because they feel they need to, right? They feel like they need to control everything. Right below that, we have this, we have this King of Swords, okay? So this person, they don't want to be viewed this way because this King of Swords, like, tried to jump out of my hand. But they are somebody, they are calculated. This is a person who is manipulative, and they do this on purpose, right? So maybe they don't like to acknowledge that they do this on purpose, or they're the type to gaslight people and pretend like they're not really doing this, but really they are intentionally trying to control everything, and it's part of their strategy. It's a part of their tactic. You know what I mean? And I feel like with you, they're stuck on you because this really just didn't work, right? I heard you flip the script. With this Nine of Swords here, I heard, you see how these what are these, spades are like going sideways, right? It's almost like things didn't go as planned when it came to you, right? Something that they said or something you said revealed to them that they're not as smart as they think they are. And I feel like this is like a big ego crusher, right? This is like, they hate to see this. They don't want this, right? And there's a Five of Cups underneath here. I feel like this is like the only reason why they even want to talk to you, is because they feel bad about how things went, but they only feel bad because you came out on top. They only feel bad because they're no longer in your favor and things didn't go how they wanted them to go. So it's like they want to find a way to get back in, honestly, as a way to like either get back at you or even the playing field, or try to do this manipulative shit again. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people, especially manipulative people, it's really just their ego. They want to come back to prove to you that they really can manipulate you. They really do got it like that. Because see, with this King of Wands was in reverse, and then Hermit right underneath that. This person got a reality check with you. They're not all that. They don't got it like that, right? They thought they were the King of Wands. Spirit said, nope, you don't got it like that. Not with you. right? Not with you. And that's what they don't understand. They're in their head right now trying to understand what it was about them that they needed, that they need to approve on in order to be able to manipulate you. It's like they need to understand, where did their tactics fail? What new tactics can they employ? You know what I mean? And I say this because I don't get an energy that this person has any good intentions of wanting to come back and talk to you. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because we have envy here. But I'm going to get to it. Because I'm seeing here with this 9 of Pentacles, your independence is haunting them. You see how she's linked to the side, all shadowy, almost looks like she's approaching and watching. But remember, this is 9 of Pentacles. This is how they see you. They see you as somebody who has their shit together. You're standing tall. And first of all, you acknowledge your shadow. They can't make you feel some type of shame. They can't use some weird ass manipulative tactics on you, because you know yourself and you're cool with yourself. You're good with yourself. You are aware of what makes you perfect or imperfect or good or bad. So whatever mind tricks this person thought they were going to play on you, they can't, because you're not at war with yourself. You know what I mean? And this independence that you have, it haunts them. Whatever has improved in your life since the last time you saw this person, it haunts them, because it literally is the proof that they don't got it like that. It's the proof that you're who you said you were and they are not. Okay? And they really hate that, right? Like, I feel like they're watching you become either more elevated or more stable, or there's something here that they're watching your glow up, or in some way, because, and this is where it got funny, because Spirit wanted me to get, like, he told me to pull all these cards off the top. So first we have steady, right? This person, and this is going to sound stupid because it is. This person wanted something a lot more long-term with you. This person wanted something steady and consistent with you, but they were playing games. I feel like this person, in their mind, they still think they want this with you, but the reality is that it's coming from a place of envy. This person doesn't like whatever elevation you've had since you last talked to this person. It makes them feel insecure. They don't like that you have had some type of glow up, that you have improved in some way. And I feel like whatever way you've improved is, from their perspective, way better than what they could have gotten with what you could have gotten with them, right? They feel like whatever you have now, they really can't compete with, or wouldn't have been able to compete with. Whatever you have now is a way better offer, a way better lifestyle than whatever the fuck they thought they were going to give you. Okay? Then we have watch, right? This person, they spend a lot of time just kind of keeping up with what you're doing now. And that's why they just kind of have this, there's such a weight on their ego. You know what I mean? And it's because they're watching you all the time, and they're keeping up with what's changed, what's new, what's different, what's not. And it's because they want to return. They want to try again with you. Cry was literally right underneath this, right underneath return. I feel like cry is right underneath return because they know they can't. I feel like this person, they feel very doubtful of ever having a chance or opportunity to rekindle anything with you or return to you in any way, even if it's just for a conversation. They kind of have no hope that that's ever going to happen. And it's because whatever they did, it did not go as planned. It did not go as planned. And when I tell you their ego is shaken up, the fact that envy came out, the King of Wands is in reverse, we have this 9 of Swords. I really feel like this person, they're probably used to either getting what they want. They're used to always being able to, like, get one over on people. And with you, they weren't able to take control. And, you know, and I feel like, remember when when I was saying that this card is often associated with like stress or anxiety, I think that is a big part of why this person can't let it go with you, is because their need to control things has a lot to do with their internal anxieties, their own fears and insecurities. So the fact that you can't be controlled by them, or the fact that you weren't able to be easily manipulated, it has triggered their own lack, right? It has triggered their own feelings of not being enough, or not being good enough, or not being smart enough, or not being hot enough, right? Like I said, this King of Wands in reverse, this person, maybe they get validation by people wanting to date them or sleep with them, or be in relationships with them, right? But and feeling attractive or feeling desirable has maybe gotten this person a long way. Maybe I feel like this person has had a good bit of their they have a good bit of history of using their attractiveness or people's desire to want to be in relationships with them to their advantage. And with you, because they weren't able to use their sexuality, their sensuality, or their attractiveness to control you, their image of themselves has been turned on its head. Their image of themselves has kind of been shattered. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they don't know who they are. They have to rediscover with this with this hermit. They have to kind of rediscover who they are now. They're trying to understand, because if you're not falling for this, then their perception of this themselves is completely altered. They're at war with this identity that they've attached themselves to. You know what I mean? And it's coming out this way because I'm feeling like you're dealing with this person is maybe narcissistic. Maybe they don't have the disorder, but maybe they have a lot of tendencies that you may associate with arrogant people or narcissistic people. Maybe even a bully. This is somebody who wants to feel like they are able to bend people to their will. You know what I mean? And with this steady, it's like they want to set people up for this long-term. They want to set people up for some long-term bullshit. Like, I'm sorry. Anyway, like I said, this person is stuck on you because you can't be manipulated, all right? If this reading resonated with you or you enjoyed it, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye.